The Yeung brothers are back from their Hong Kong shopping trip. The pots, the woks, and ovens are on their way to Manchester by sea for the rebuilding of the city's Yangtze restaurant. Harry, the chef of the partnership, has got an important banquet to prepare at their temporary restaurant. Although he has a team of 30 chefs working for him, he still cooks himself. Harry's a tough operator.
They call me a in the kitchen, but what happened is they've been working long enough with me. They know what we need. They know what we expect. So they try to do their best to please me and the customer.
Jerry's got to get tough as well. It is one of the regular progress meetings on the rebuilding work. They're weeks behind schedule.
And in fact, if the whole place were ready by the 18th of August, I will be delighted, because I then have 3 weeks to allow my staff to run in, as it were, to
It won't
get
be finished because we know we've got 2 containers.
Steve Wheeler's in charge of the building work.
Now, you told me this morning.
He finds his job harder when everybody else
but they
keeps
will be
going on
all
holiday.
at the same time. It's only because the container is the 3 container or 2 containers is not big enough to put all his cooking equipment in. What I'm trying to do is to bring the problem as forward as possible, so that we don't deal with the problem. We don't deal with a whole host of problem in mid-August, end of August. Okay. I mean, you must. Sorry, you're the worst offender, Peter. So I've got to emphasise to you that you've got to bring them in.
The boiler's here, as you asked.
Well,
I mean, all we've got to do is say
I'm going to make a point about that.
Which boiler?
He's the worst offender.
Yeah.
But you allowed him to have a fortnight's holiday when you'd already told us that this was coming up and you wanted things to happen. So we've lost a fortnight there.
You have to make it up, Peter.
Yeah, he's got to make it up. But is he going to be here?
Right,
I mean, hang on, Pete. You came back to work on Monday, and you've walked round here a couple of times, but nothing's been done.
Nothing's impossible if your heart is really in it. It's a fight, but you can win it if only you will trust your dreams. Nothing's impossible. No use standing around and sighing. If you try and keep on trying.
A specially designed staircase into the main dining area has arrived, but it doesn't fit.
Well, regulations state that the minimum head height from the step directly below any particular bulkhead must be a minimum of 2 metres. And when we measured this in its bare state as it is now, it was only 1.925, which is 75 mil too high. Now, these people visit site with tape measures, take all sorts of dimensions, go away, plot it, make it, bring it to site, and it doesn't fit.
Because when we measured the job up, part of the roof wasn't there, and one thing or another. So, you can't just blame anybody on that side, I don't know. So it wasn't my fault anyway.
And worse, glass panels for the stairway have been made in Taiwan and are already on their way. The panels are curved and need to fit exactly. But now the staircase is being altered.
We can only wait and see about the glass panels. The panels for this are being made in Taiwan, and they'll be shipped out and fitted as per the original position. So whether the shift of the staircase will affect them, we've no idea. We'll not know until the panels arrive, and that's going to be late August. And it'll be about 6 days before we actually do to open. If they don't fit, we'll just have to get something temporary. And it'll come off their bill.
Fresh fish is one of Harry's specialties.
Lovely quality fish, Harry.
Even when he works late, he still insists on getting up early in the morning to go to market himself.
One or two is bigger than the other, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks bigger than it says on the box.
Right, it's okay.
He knows what he wants. He's very quality conscious. He's a hard man to please because he pushes you on the price. You've got to do the deal for it to be right for Harry. You're looking at £5.50 a pound. Steer into it.
You got some bigger one?
No bigger ones.
But it's not jumping today.
No, they've been out on the front. It's so warm weather, they're jumping about a bit now.
You got your Dorade Rosé, your Par Grey, Dorade Cock, obviously your Bass. Anything special. It's anything that he can do something special with, different that nobody else does. He's interested in. You know, not the run-of-the-mill stuff that everybody else is using. He's a very, very, very good businessman, but he's very, very shrewd. He watches the markets, and when he finds something that is a good price, he buys it. And it's not often you can catch him out.
I think the most important success of the restaurant is the ingredient, the raw material. Cannabis. Okay. Right, that's down to the buyer to make sure the price is right. So when I'm down to the business, how much is it? I'd be very hard.
Do £7.
£7?
Yeah. Cheaper, half the price.
Sometimes we toss the coin to agree on a price. And the most time I'm winning it. Come on. Come on.
6.80, go on then.
20 pence.
20p, yeah. I need that for a bus fare because I can't afford the car now.
I'll give you a bicycle.
New York. And Jerry's been persuaded to take his first holiday with his family since the Yeung burnt down 2 years ago. Jerry's a bit of a workaholic. He's taking everyone to Chinatown in New York for a spot of comparison.
Chinatown in Europe is different from Chinatown in America. In that, in America is a place where the Chinese would work, rest and play. It is where they live. But in Western Europe, take Manchester for example, there's only a couple of streets where there will come and they have the restaurants and they have the services, but they all go away from it. You know, they don't live there. Whereas here, it is a place which in this area there are 100,000 Chinese. So the population is very dense, and obviously there's a hive of activities all the time.
And then some research into one of Jerry's ambitions, creating a Chinese fast food chain.
Right, now we bought some Chinese takeaway. Grandpa says the quality is okay, it's passable. But what interests me are the container they use for the soup noodles. We haven't found this, I haven't seen anything like this in UK. They're microwavable, and it will be ideal for us to have containers like this for our future chain of takeaway business. We're going to take them home and ask our suppliers to see whether they can get them locally. I'm just beginning to feel relaxed now. But as soon as I feel properly relaxed, it'll be time to go home. That would be the problem.
And back home, it's the weekend, and Steve's had to come into work again. The original bars have been renovated after the fire, and they're being delivered and installed today.
I don't do anything hard anymore. I try not to get a sweat on. I don't like it when everybody else, managers and directors, all go away on holiday, and I'm not allowed to have a holiday until the job's finished. Just tease me off that they can all go away and say, right, well, you just carry on with it and I'll go and have a break. It's not on. Hey, right. I personally would like some time off. I'm tired. I don't want to keep getting up 7 days a week and coming in, because I have done for the last 4 months. It's not a strain on my marriage, but my wife certainly doesn't like it. I've got 3 young boys, and it's just tiring for her. But what she's basically done is taken me out of the equation. Doesn't involve me in any of the plans for what's happening with the lads. Like today, she's going to take them off to the pitches. She's not asked me whether I'll be coming home early and going with them, because she knows I won't be, I'll be here. I am starting to feel the pressure now, and I really would like to have maybe 1 day off, because I've been doing 7 days for so long. But I can't at the moment.
After the break,
Lovely.
Harry takes delivery of one of his more exotic ingredients, jellyfish. Even though Steve's feeling the pressure, he finds it hard to stay away from the job. He loves it, really.
We're putting together the Chinese arch entrance. Well, I don't know what it symbolises, but it is part of the original restaurant. And Jerry and Harry actually brought over Chinese carpenters to build this. And it's just a jigsaw to us. We've got drawings, original drawings, for all the writings in Chinese, so... What we didn't realise was just how much filler these Chinese carpenters used when they made it. There were some huge gaps, which, even when everything's set square, the only way you can get round them is to fill them. So, decorator will be busy with that one.
Harry's special shipment has arrived from China. Over a ton of jellyfish.
We serve it cold in the restaurant, cold starter, and we serve it with chicken, with suckling pig. You know, any cold starter we do. 3, 4, 5, 6. They're lovely.
They're caught in the South China Sea and preserved in salt.
Yeah. See how thick they are and how we can see through, you know. And if they have a lot of different color, then it's no good, you know. This is, you know, when they raw, they're as big as a table. Yeah, when they're live, you know.
Harry imports jellyfish by the truckload and is one of the few suppliers in Britain. He sells it on to the restaurant trade.
This is into little pieces. It's like a tentacle of the actual things. They don't produce as much as the whole jellyfish because they got a lot of work to do because they got a lot of sand inside. So they take longer to produce. So they don't produce much, you know. So taste lovely.
Meanwhile, at the site, decisions need to be made. Hetty, the banqueting manager, is meeting the surveyor.
How are we going to light those?
They're going to be spotlights behind there.
Is there going to be any uplighters at all around there?
I don't know anything about it.
We've got no lights in here or there.
I don't know. I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Treat this area as the bar. All that and that as the bar. Now, in front of the bars, we've got downlighters across the way, so what's wrong with them here? Eddie, it's holding the damn job up.
Nothing on this bar is fixed yet. Nothing. There is no...
When's it going to be fixed?
When Jerry comes back.
If we wait till he comes back, we could end up in a big delay again. If we decide now, then I'll tell the electrician that's what we want.
Yeah.
I'll tell the plasterer that that's what we want, and we'll get it done before he gets back on Wednesday.
Jerry's beginning to relax at last, unaware of decisions being made in his absence. And supper provides yet more research material.
It's a restaurant quite close to the hotel, so we thought we'd give it a try. Well, we're keeping my fingers crossed. Apart from the Grand Central, we had a few, to say the least, an exciting dinners, and hopefully this one will prove us wrong. But this, the menu seems quite genuinely genuine Chinese food. So let's see. I'll give you the verdict afterwards.还有一个海鲜，还有什么海鲜？
要不要吃鱼？
新鲜的吗？
对。
新鲜什么鱼？
我们有龙利，有石板，西北的。Mandarin.
I can only understand Cantonese.
要不要吃？有一点辣的，要不要吃？
不要了，我们清蒸好了。
就清蒸。
We're eating a Shanghai dim sum, a meat dumpling, and the. The test of this dumpling is when it's steamed, all the juices are supposed to be retained inside. That is a sign of a good Shanghai meat dumpling. Having said that, I think the pastry is slightly on the thick side. Harry does something very similar. 有一个跟你一样。If you want me to give a rating, I would say 60 out of 100. The fish, for example, is not really fresh. It's been frozen. I think the lobster with the green bean noodle is very good. The vegetable is very good. But generally speaking, there seems to be an overuse of sugar in the flavouring. By and large, I think that it is much more satisfying than the boiled baby back rib that we had last night. Manchester very, very much in my mind at the moment. We've only got 8 weeks to go before we reopen, so subconsciously I think there's a degree of anxiety.
Back in Manchester, it's quiet at the Yeung's temporary home around the corner from the building site. Harry's not worried though.
Honey, how many bookings we got tonight? Dozen. It's not much, is it?
He's got an extravagant banquet booked later. Harry relishes the chance to serve up more unusual dishes.
They call racer clam. It's live. We can do a few ways, steaming garlic, or we can few ways doing it. There's a number of ways doing it. It look awful, but it's beautiful.
Businessmen from Hong Kong who make Chinese sauces are dining in the restaurant tonight. Harry's been paid a handsome sum to push the boat out and impress them.
Now we have six small dish, right? 6 different cold starter, and then we have 2 second course. And then we have a shark fin soup, which I can tell you that it's not been done in this country. This is good, but it's only we can do it. And the next one is abalone with sea slug. Now this is the sea slug. It look awful. It look awful, but it's beautiful. Sea cucumber, you might say. And then the next one is that one, vegetable fun. But in a minute, we cook some scallop in the middle of this. So we got green color, red, and the middle is white. So the color contrastion is very, very good.
The shark's fin soup alone would cost more than £300. Or how about some drunken pigeon?
We call them drunken pigeons. Drunken. They've been drunken. They've been drink, you know. They've been dipped in the wine, you know. Pigeon. Fly all the way from Piccadilly Garden.
阿常話俾你聽，阿常話俾佢知走啊，叫佢攞嘢啊！呢啲啊，話俾兒聽。
Is it only 2? Hedy? Hedy?
Right.
Is it only 2 tables, is it?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So what happened? The other one?
They're stuck in traffic on M6.
So what happened with that
They
stuff?
pay for it, don't they?
Oh, that's better. That's better.
Magic words, isn't it? Magic words.
For my point.
No, what happened is they got 3 tables, and now 2 tables turn up. But Hedy said they pay for it. Then it doesn't mind, we've done the work.
The food is going to get served, so it makes no difference. A lot of people are going to have lots of takeaway.
Are you enjoying the meal?
Duck's tongue.
Duck's tongue?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I don't know.
You haven't tried it?
No, not for me.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Okay, what do you think of the drunken pigeon?
It's quite an interesting delicacy for me. I quite like the pastry one, which was the vegetarian. I thought it was really nice indeed.
We have to try the jellyfish next.
Yeah.
It's another triumph for Harry.
feels great. It's what you call, in English, call satisfaction, isn't it? Yeah? So as long as the customer enjoying it, that means we're doing a good job.
Next week, a spot of toilet trouble.
You can't close the door unless you do that.
He's turned up with a short tape measure.
And Hetty goes wine tasting in France.
Cheers.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.